It's 8 p.m. and here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
Currently, we have 47 patients, 26 of them having frostbite.
A busy Monday at local hospitals after a bitter cold weekend that make tonight's temperatures look balmy.
We had bitter cold readings this morning. Tomorrow morning still pretty cold, but then comes snow.
But across the country, that cold isn't letting up just yet.
I wasn't prepared at all. It's like unbelievable. It's very cold. I wasn't expecting to get this cold at all. It's crazy.
All new tonight at 8. He's dedicated his career to protect and serve his community.
I just keep getting people saying thank you for what he's done.
Now a local deputy is in the fight of his life against COVID, and he needs your help.
Try to keep it positive, you know? He's gonna come home.
Plus, giving more protection from harassment to healthcare workers. The new bill set to be introduced when state lawmakers reconvene tomorrow. And the pandemic has emptied many wallets, but has also opened many hearts.
It means a lot because, it's laundry, but it's more than that.
The local laundromat making sure the entire community is taken care of.
Just come, bring him laundry. He doesn't expect anything out of it. He's just purely I don't know, it touches me.
Good Monday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. We hope you had a wonderful President's Day holiday. We want to get straight to our top story. The Arapahoe County deputy fighting for his life in the ICU against COVID-19. Sergeant Nate Kyleberg has been in the hospital for 2 weeks and his family cannot visit. During the pandemic, risks for our law enforcement are at an all-time high. Denver7's Adi Guajardo has the story.
Sergeant Nate Kyleberg has spent more than 2 decades on the streets serving the community. 17 of those years with the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office.
He's still out there during this pandemic and still serving his community.
His wife Andrea and the love of his life for 27 years says he takes pride in his uniform and making a difference.
He does his best to care for them.
But now, the father of 3.
He is the man that will give you the shirt off of his back. He is the kindest, sweetest person.
Known for his humor and big heart, is in need of prayers.
He's still on the ventilator. He's still heavily sedated.
On February 1st, Nate was rushed to the hospital and was later diagnosed with COVID-19. His family has only seen him once, waving through a window just before his health spiraled. Now he's in the ICU, fighting to stay alive.
He has made some small improvements, little things like, squeeze my hand, wiggle your foot.
But the fight is far from over, and fear lingers with his health on the line.
It's been really hard.
His best friend, Sergeant Jeremiah Gates, says he's praying for a miracle.
And my worst fear is that he won't come out of this.
It's nearly impossible to know where Nate contracted COVID-19, but the job comes with a risk of exposure.
We are still out there responding to these 911 calls, responding to non-emergency calls, going out and being a part of this community.
Saturday night, the community came together to raise money to cover unexpected expenses.
I have a lot of blue family and blood family.
For years, Nate has put his family and the community first, and his family hopes you can now return the favor in prayers and monetary donations.
He has so much to live for.
She hopes the community can better understand the risk officers take every day to keep Coloradans safe, at times putting their own life on the line.
Now, Nate's wife says she's staying positive that her husband will come home, but there's no escaping her biggest fear, and that's losing her husband and the father of her 3 children. Now, if you would like to make a donation to the family, head over to thedenverchannel.com. We have a link where you can go to. Adi Guajardo, Denver7.
Addie, thank you. All new at 8. Boulder police are investigating suspicious incidents at several CU Boulder fraternity and sorority houses. Police would like to talk to this person seen in this video, taping a white envelope to houses. Police say the incidents occurred overnight at 5 different houses. The envelope contained a CD with audio from the Criminal Minds TV show. Police are determining if criminal charges apply here. You are taking a live look right now from our mile-high camera over downtown Denver. And who would think temperatures in the teens would feel like a warm-up? But after the weekend we had, it sure does. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson joins us now. Mike, warming up, but snow is in the forecast this week.
It is, but we'll take the snow after the bitter cold early today. 16 below in Denver, and up at Sterling, 31 below zero, and not far away in the little town of Crook, 33 below zero. As far as conditions around the area right now, we're 1 in Denver. It's still really cold off to the northeast of us, below zero, but there's milder air coming in from the west, and that milder air is part of a Pacific air mass instead of an Arctic air mass that is going to bring us some snow along with the warmer temperatures. So across the state, it's 0 out at Sterling and Ray, but it's 27 out west at Grand Junction. And as far as the wind chills, it's still really cold on the plains. 28 below, it feels like an exposed skin at Burlington. But we have an avalanche watch and a winter weather advisory in the mountains as that snow starts to come in. So not quite as cold tonight. Snow develops in the mountains, and we'll get a few inches of snow here in Denver prior to a nice warming trend this weekend. I'll have details in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Mike. It was so cold this weekend. The UC Health Burn and Frostbite Center says they saw a record number of patients. Right now, because of the cold weather, they have 47 patients. 26 of those have frostbite. They see about 50 patients annually for frostbite. A doctor with the Frostbite Center says most are people who are experiencing homelessness.
The patients that we are admitting, I would say 75% of them are homeless. But the other 25% are varied, from somebody walking home from work that forgot their gloves, to a guy that's delivering packages that cut the finger out of the glove so that he could use his computer, to a guy that was out shoveling as part of his job. A lot of job-related injuries as well.
And the high country is still under a dangerous risk for avalanches. This is the current avalanche risk map. All those areas in orange are where there is a considerable risk for avalanche. And as we have been telling you, the biggest danger right now is in the backcountry. Public health workers would receive more protection under a newly proposed bill. Pediatrician and state representative Dr. Yadira Caraveo told our partners at the Denver Post that it's a long past time to extend support to health department employees. Her legislation would allow them the ability to remove their personal information from the public record. It would also make posting that information online for the purpose of harassment a misdemeanor. Dr. Mark Johnson was one of several local health leaders to retire last year. Unlike others, he was not pushed out, but instead delayed his retirement to lead the Jefferson County Health Department through the pandemic. He told us this in September.
I told my staff right at the beginning of this, first, they will ignore us and ignore our advice. Next, they will love us for what we are doing. Then they will resent us, and finally they will blame us.
The General Assembly reconvenes tomorrow. We will keep a close eye on Representative Caraveo's bill. Winter Park Resort is one of 3 businesses currently under level red restrictions in Grand County. The other 2 are not being identified. There has been an outbreak among employees at Winter Park. If the cases come down, that'll be that. If they stay high, more restrictions are coming for more businesses. The pandemic has impacted all of us in different ways, some harder than others. But if there is anything we can take from the pandemic, it is that people have been willing to give back whenever they can. Denver7's Gary Brode has more on the Denver businesses looking out for their own community.
It's a necessity many of us take for granted.
It means a lot because, it's laundry, but, it's more than that.
23-year-old Maribel Hernandez couldn't afford to clean her family's clothes.
It wasn't just, a little bit of laundry. It was a lot. Probably had, 6 bags, laundry, big bags.
With nowhere else to turn, Hernandez posted on a Facebook group designed to help anyone impacted by the pandemic.
Went off on a limb, and I was it's a weird request, but would anyone be able to help me, with laundry?
James Marquez was tagged in the comment section.
I talk to a lot of people that come through here, and they always telling me, COVID did this, COVID did that, but the one thing that remained the same was that we still had to eat Locally, by the way, and we still had to wash clothes.
Marquez works at Jessica's laundromat located in Denver's 5 Points neighborhood. He immediately reached out to Hernandez to help.
She was telling me her story, and I just busted into tears, and I got so emotional. You know, she was so young, and had this world on her shoulders.
Like right away, immediately, he was open arms, ready to help. He even gave us soap, didn't ask for anything in return.
Hernandez may have been the first recipient of a new program footing the laundry bill.
We're calling it Suds of Love.
But she wasn't the last.
There's so many people in the community reaching out to us. It's so amazing. It's so gratifying.
Marquez says he's been helping 2 to 3 families per day since then, and now members of the community are even volunteering their time to help out.
Just come, bring your laundry. He doesn't expect anything out of it. He's just purely like, I don't know, it touches me.
Because this chore we often take for granted is in fact a necessity, pandemic or not. In Denver, Gary Brode, Denver7.
We got a notice that just kind of said to do what you can to keep electricity low, and to conserve where you could.
Coloradans forced to tough it out in the cold after a shortage of available energy.
The wind farm that we get a lot of energy from was not available to us to its full capacity.
At least it won't be quite this cold by early tomorrow morning, but we do have snow in the forecast.
Plus, coming up later, we're giving you a chance to daydream a little.
It's near the Horsetooth Reservoir. It sits on 36 acres of land.
We take a tour of the Front Range mega mansion that has a little taste of Colorado right in the backyard.
The owner brought in sandstone, which is leveled off, and built it in tiered seating, just like Red Rocks.